I just did part 1 on making pants for my doll, and now I'm about to do part 2, which is making a shirt for my doll. So I don't need these legs anymore. I'm going to delete them. And I'm going to click on her body, and I'm going to hit Control. I'm sorry, I'm saying Control. I mean to say Alt D, which is D for duplicate. So I need that. I don't need the neck. Well, I might need the neck if it was a turtleneck, but in my case, I'm not going to be making a turtleneck. And I don't need his head. So I'm going to use my Replace by an Arc tool, and I'm going to go right about where I want the neckline of the shirt to be. I'm going to click. I'm going to unclick where I want the V-neck to be, and then I'm going to click on the part of the shoulder where I want the scoop to end. Okay, so it might not be perfect. That's okay. We can change all this. And I'm going to change the color of it just so we can place it on top of her to see how that looks. Not too bad. And what I generally do when I make it when I'm making it from a body like this is I slightly enlarge it just to make it easier to place on the body, because usually you're doing this for girls. And I don't like that neckline, so I'm going to come up close again. And I'm going to use my Replace by an Arc tool and pull this in closer, and that just looks real masculine there, so I was just trying to loosen that up. And let's do this again. Okay, now I had said I'd like for this to be a V-neck, and I would. So I clicked over here, the one that looks like a stealth bomber. That's what Chloe always called it, and that's always stuck with me. And I'm going to go to the second one in that says Break and Move. That's to place a little node on there. And I'm going to come back over here and click on the Move Point tool, and I'm going to click on that node, and I'm going to pull it down, and now I have a V-neck. Okay, that being said, I'm going to zoom out a little bit. She needs sleeves too, so I'm going to hit on the one arm, I'm hitting Alt D, and that just duplicated it, as you can see. But I want to keep it where it's at, so I'm going to move it back on there. And I'm just going to use my straight line tool, and I'm just going to go across where I'd want the sleeve to be. And for some reason it didn't do it to the top one, I don't think. I didn't do it to either one of them. Let's try that again. Okay. There it is. Okay, so it didn't do the part. Oh, yes, it did. No, it didn't do the part I wanted it to. So I'm just going to hit return, and now what it does when you do something like that, let me show you that real quick. I'm just going to use a box. And let's say I want to keep the top portion of the box. I'm going to keep the top portion. So when for some reason it's going to, okay, there we go. When I go to cut this off, it cut the bottom part off, which I wanted to keep the top part. But let's say I wanted to keep the bottom part. When you go to hit this back arrow, it gives you the opposite part of it. That's all I wanted to show you. So that's what I did with the arm when I did that. So now I have a sleeve, and I'll change that to white. And again, I like to just enlarge it slightly. And since I know that this arm is exactly the opposite of the other arm, I'm going to use my mirror tool and click on the left button, hit duplicate and apply, and then I'm just going to place this on top of the arm and bring it to the front. And now we have sleeves. Now I don't have the body attached because I want you to be able to move her body parts around the way you want. And if you wanted to, you could even take this arm, and I'm going to hit Alt D to duplicate it. I put the original arm back. Okay. If you wanted this in separate pieces, you can come over here to the Move Point tool, come up here to the second pair of scissors, the ones to the right, and you can sever her arm like right about where the elbow is. And then what I would do if it was me is I would extend this top one down a little bit to fit near her elbow so that you can place it. And the reason for doing that, I'm going to bring the elbow portion of the arm to the front, is now you can rotate